Welcome to the Lab Rat Foiler podcast. My name is Dan. I'm your host, and today we have Sven Mayer, Sveny Foils on Instagram. How are you, mate?
Pretty good. Can't complain.
Can't complain. Have you been getting out much? I see you posting
Yeah,
things every day.
yeah, pretty much now. Actually, we are pretty good at lately. We had lots of seaweed the last few weeks, but there's some days they're pretty good. Like yesterday was sick. Weekend was not too bad. So yeah,
Nice,
getting
nice.
out.
Sveny, you've been frothing on the Parawing like I have frothing on the Parawing. We're just kind of obsessed with it right now. This podcast is all about experiencing new things and being the lab rat for
Yeah,
the
yeah.
foiling experiment. So trying new things. So that's what we're going to dive into. And we're going to be talking a lot about parawinging. But before we start, I always love to hear foilers' backgrounds. When did you start foiling? How did you start foiling? What was your first foiling discipline? And then we'll go from there.
I started foiling with the kite actually because I was kite surfing. Because kite surfing, I was normal surfing. Then I thought I need something for summer times when the wind is coming. So I started kite surfing. Then I made of my. Then actually we started dock starting a little bit as well before kite foiling, and then kite foiling, and then drone foiling. Actually, that was like
How was the
the
dock
start.
starts? I found it so hard
It
to.
was really hard. That we had an old mesh set up, and it was like and we just made it like 10 meters. It was not
Yeah.
really working because the foils are way too small, and it was like. That was actually the first thing getting introduced to a foil, and then I thought, okay, cool, we can use it on the kite, and we could go on kite foiling a little bit, and then straight away I started prone, and then behind the ski, we got a jet ski, and we went straight away towing.
Yeah, that'll give you a lot of time on foil and yeah. How did you find the transition from kite foiling to prone? I did kind of the same thing, and I found it so hard to prone.
Yeah, it was really hard. It was a pretty. But I have a surfing background. I'm from Germany, but I have not much surfing. I started surfing when I was 21. I think the first time in France, and then when I moved over to Australia, I did it every day actually. But yeah, I found it really hard, because the foot pressure is way different than for surfing. So yeah, it was really hard, and also I found kite foiling is one of the easiest to get into foiling because it pulls you up. It's really easy. Almost think it's easier than behind the ski because you have this pull upwards to get straight on the foil and can try and get the balance right or something like that. So it's not. I think it's definitely easier than wing foiling or something like that. That's what I think.
Really easier than wing foiling. That's
That's
interesting.
what I think. That's what I think. Kite foiling. Because I started kite foiling, then prone, then towing, and then pretty late wing foiling. Actually. Like on wing foiling was I found it not hard, but it was different because you have to say I was windsurfing when I was a kid, but but it was different to kite foiling or something like that. But yeah,
And what brought you to Australia? You said you were from Germany. What brought you to Perth?
we actually did a world travel 2011 or 2010, and then stopped in Western Australia to get some work, get some money in, and then decided to stay here.
Didn't
Yeah.
leave. It's not a bad place.
Nah,
Perfect
yeah,
place for foiling as well.
yeah. Now we traveled. Yeah, we traveled around Australia, and then we decided, Perth is the thing we want to stay because it's a little bit behind. So sometimes I think I'm coming from the future, so that's why it's really
Yeah.
quiet, and it's pretty cool. So yeah.
So now parawinging. When did you see the parawing for the first time?
I think the first time I saw the pocket wing or I saw something, I don't know, it must be almost 2 years ago. Because then I spoke to a mate of mine and said, hey, let's go get some trainer kites and stuff like that. And he offered actually like a one from Alex.
Yep.
But yeah,
I did the
be
same
2 years,
thing.
and I think it was one of the pocket kites when
Yep.
I saw the first time. And then at the moment I saw the first BIM out, I launched it. I was the first guy. Then I put my order in and say, because
Yeah.
I thought, and I said, man, you can go a little bit upwind because the problem with the trainer kite was there was no power at all. And I tried also converting a peak. I tried that and it didn't, there's no there's a little bit pull forward, but nothing. For me, with 110 kilos, it's like there was nothing at all. It was like, yeah.
Yeah. I had a very similar journey. I think it was, yeah, look, Greg nailed that first iteration of it because I was kind of like you. I saw the pocket wing and it was so close to like what we needed to jump on it. And then when I saw the upwind angles of the guys in Maui, I think you and I were probably in that first batch because I saw a 5 minute of video and I'm like, I'm going to buy it.
Yeah.
I bought it. I'm like, that's it.
I was with another guy here. We were the two first guys here in WA to get the BIMs, and they're like, yeah.
So what about it's so I find it so interesting because the pocket wing was probably 95% there. What about the BRM? Was it just the upwind angle or what was it that actually said I need this?
The upwind angle and all when I saw that the pocket wing, it was all over the place. And I tried it after I had my BRM, a guy here had got a pocket wing. And I tried it, and it felt like, you see, I saw the video from the pocket wing with the two handles, and I wasn't sold on that.
Yep.
It looked really hard, and not like, and I wanted, because I started downwind paddling.
Mm-hmm.
When I have pretty bad back, like a dislocated disc and things like that, it was really bad for my back. So I just got into it. I got up, but it was really hard on my body, and I said, shit, I can't do it, because, I need something. That's why I thought that this Parawing would be pretty cool. But when I saw the video from the pocket wing, it looked cool, but it looked hard. It looked really hard. So like it looked like really hard on your body as well. And I said, I'm not sure. And at the moment, I saw the video from behind from Greg, and I said, no, I'm 100% sure that works.
Yeah.
And it looks like doable and looks like not easier, but it looks like not that hard on my body, on the lower back and things like that. So that straight away, like, that's the one, because the upwind angle, I'm not into this upwind thing because I'm not normally going upwind. I normally need the wing, get out of the water, shoot out 500 meters, maybe a K, pack it away and go. And normally I don't need it then for the next 5-10 kilometers. If the bumps are good, I don't never need it. But only I hit seaweed or something like that. But otherwise, I only need it to getting up, get out, and that's it. I don't do this upwind. I'm not the upwind thing. I have to try it more, but then I still prefer going up. We have some good swell up a little bit north where I go normally winging, and I still prefer going on the wing there.
Really? That's interesting. So you're taking the
wing, because maybe I'm not that good at the moment to do all the Parawing, like the upwind game, because I still drift too much downwind, and I found it really hard to go upwind. That spot is like you have only like a little gap. If you're drifting too far downwind, you're coming to the next reef and sit on the reef, and then there's the island coming, and it's you're fucked. It's like you have a long swim, and it's like it's not that fun. So you have to get up all the time, and not drifting too much. And I always make one mistake. I always use way too small foils.
Yeah, we always want to do that, right? We're like, no, I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it. Yeah,
but I just found it out like the last 2 months with the Parawing. I went big for it when I started, but then and then went straight away small. Yeah. And now I'm going big because it's way easier, and it's still because I'm tall, I'm heavy. I can turn like a big 1300, 14, 1500. Even I can still turn it and can make it like fun. Yeah. So but that's what I always.
Yeah, that's interesting. We don't have too many people Parawinging with your weight and your height, which are two things that are pretty hard to manage and find gear for. What when you saw the light, I need the BRM. What BRM sizes did you buy?
I bought straight away the 5.
Yep.
Because I thought otherwise I spoke to Greg, and he said normally your wing size, and I started when I was winging with a 5 and a 6. So I thought, okay, I'm getting a 5.
Yeah.
And at the moment, I'm winging only, when I'm winging now, I'm having a 4.5. That's my only wing. Normally I had a 4, 5, and 6, but now I have a 4.5, and I can use it anytime from like 13, 14 knots. I can use it, but I'm good at it. I know how it works, and that works. But I thought on a Parawing, I definitely a 5 and a big one. And I got my 5, and then 2 months later, I said, I need a 6.
Yeah. Did you bought the, what's the
6. I bought a 6 as well, So I had a BIM.
Did you even use a 6?
Yeah, I used it. I kind of often used it because because I started, like when I started Parawinging, I started with the 5, and I started with my like a long I had this Axis downwind board 886, I think so was it, 130 liters. That's what the
130.
one
Yeah.
board. That's what I started, and I had a slick downwind board as well, but I tried as well. That was actually my first
Hmm.
goals on the first day, 3, 4 goals going on the Parawing. And then say, oh,
Hmm.
that's cool, but that's not what I want to do. I want to have small boards. That's why, otherwise I can paddle, I thought. When I used to go, I needed these small boards.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
straight away went to smaller boards. And if you need to go smaller boards, you need bigger wing, like bigger power wings or bigger
Yeah.
foils or something like that. So yeah.
What was the step down from that downwinder board? You went from the 8.6, 130 liters
I
to
went
what
down, I
board?
had a carver, a custom-made Sanova carver, 80 liters. It was a
Hmm.
62, but it was custom-made. It was way flatter, not much
Hmm.
rocker, and not that thick as the production one.
Nice.
What I used also for winging and like light wind winging. It has 79 liters, 80 liters, and it got
Hmm.
flying pretty easy. Yeah. But yeah, that's what
Yeah.
was the
It's still a
step
small
down.
board for
This was
110 liters. Yeah.
yeah, there was definitely a small board, but that worked really well for it.
Sorry, 110
Definitely.
kilos, not 110 liters. Yeah. It's still under, like my mid length is a 1-to-1 weight to volume ratio. So 85 liters, and I'm probably 82, 85 with
Yeah,
all the gear.
yeah,
And yeah, I find that a very easy board to get up. You get up
yeah.
pretty much anytime, but anything under your weight starts to get a little tricky.
That's definitely tricky. That's why you need. That's why I'm always getting. That's what I thought. I get better a bigger power wing because I'm not. I'm only needing it
Mhm.
to get up. I'm not going back
Yeah.
and forward. So then I don't care if it pulls me out. It's really hard on my hands for the first 2 minutes, and then I get away.
Mm.
But I get up straight away. That's why I said, okay, I buy a 6 as well because it's the 5. I could go on the Sanova around, yeah, so still like green arrows, like 18, 19 knots on the Sanova board, but it was still like
No, wow.
challenging. Depends on the swell. If there's a lot of west swell that we're having when you go against the swell, to get up,
Mm.
you have the wind swell and the ground swell, and you're going against the swell, was pretty hard to get it up. And at that time, I also used smaller foils as well. Because
Yeah.
well, and I figured
What
it
was
out.
the first foil that you tried? The
The
Parawing
first,
one?
the first that was a big one. It was the 1180. The Spitfire 1180
Yeah,
was the
nice.
first one. And then straight away, I went down to the 999 V2,
Hmm.
and that's way too small. Like if it's
Yeah, it's
honking, it's pretty good, but it takes a lot to getting it up. So yeah, I use way
yeah.
different stuff at the moment because it's like yeah, it makes it easier and way more fun. Way more fun.
Do you find that when you put a bigger foil on, you're a little bit slower than the wind swell and the ground swell? Like, do you find that going downwind, you're a little bit like not
That
coordinated with the speed?
that's funny because I'm so heavy and I spoke to so many people and they're always like especially talking about the 1180 Spitfire. Everybody's saying, oh, that's the new 1300 V2
Yeah, yeah,
from like they're really slow foils. Every time you're driving a tractor or whatever.
yeah.
But the 1180, I got on the 1180, the best pace was under 2 minutes and 30, 2 minutes 28 on a 1180. It's
Wow,
insane.
nice.
It's
That's good pace.
but I said,
Yeah.
because of 110 kilos, that's the advantage. The first time I've like, advantage when you're heavy, you can go way fast. You get like bigger foils faster and you have not that much drag, I think. So they go, but I also can, I did yesterday a run on the 1300 and I can actually overtake. It was not much wind. It was like 16, 17 knots, and I
Yeah.
overtake bumps.
Yeah, nice. So you're
It's
going
like
up and over. And I think it's cool for you to give people this information because there's so many guys now getting into it here and they are over 90 kilos and sometimes, even if they're just tall, like it's such a different dynamic and the foils will react so differently. So you're saying that even a 1300 you can still
Definitely, if you're heavy,
Still go.
definitely still go. And then if you're 90 kilos, I think you definitely need a smaller powering because especially for beginning, don't go too big because they have a lot of grunt. And if
Yeah.
you're using it in the beginning, you go lots of like trying back and forwards and get used to it. But at the moment you're going like say, okay, I go only downwinding. You can go maybe bigger powering, mid-sized foil but small board. What makes it so much fun is you have like it feels like downwind prone or something like that. You have this small board underneath your feet.
Yes.
It's not like this massive, yeah. So
That's
now
why
it
we.
makes
That's
you
why
make sure-
we're powering and really.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Man, that's pretty cool.
And when you started, you you had your 5 and you had your big board and everything. What was the hardest thing about you understanding how this parawing works? Because you have good kite background, winging background, prone, sup downwinding. What
Yeah.
was the hardest thing to understand?
The first thing I think, the first mistake what I did, or the other was a more
Mhm.
mistake. I started pumping, like pumping the wing, like
Yeah.
to getting it moving
Yep.
like this, and that didn't work. On the
Yeah.
BRM, it didn't work. On the D-wing, it's a different story. But yeah, on the BRM,
Yep.
it doesn't like that, and you have to understand that definitely, and then also to go back
Hmm.
because you're good at winging, you're coming away from downwinding, you're good, really good prone and whatever. You have to understand you're starting from the beginning. Maybe put some steps backwards, using bigger foil, bigger board. You have to understand that to go in
Yeah.
like this in this cook phase or you like a cook stage again to get get used
Yep.
because yeah,
We all have
that
to.
was really really hard to understand in the beginning. So it worked the first. Sorry, so I remember my first go straight away. Bump went up and I said, "Oh my god, that's it." Gave it 2 or 3 more
Mm.
goes and I said, "Small ball, small ball, let's go straight away." And it just
Yeah, I'm a pro.
yeah. So you have to make it still slow. Yeah, but you have to understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first mistake, the biggest mistake was this pumping thing. You don't like, especially on the BIM, you have to get the speed, pumping more the board than your hands, like what you normally use from winging. What I normally do from winging when I'm winging, so the small boards are wait, get the board out of the water, and then start
Mhm.
like pumping the backhand to get a little bit movement on the board, and then starting the board to pump up.
Mhm.
And that's what I did actually on the powering to try to get some tensions on the lines. And that, yeah, always you got a little bit, then it collapsed. And so yeah, it's like not working that good on the BIM.
Yeah, it's interesting because now we're seeing all these brands come out with their Parawings and their versions of the Parawings, and they are very different. Which ones have you tried?
So I had the BIMs, then I tried the pocket wing,
Hmm.
and I tried on now I have the
How
D-wings.
how was the Pocket Wing?
I
Was
really
it? Did it have a good pull? Really
I
hard.
had a lot of pull. It was a small one. It was only a 3 meter one. But I had a lot of pull, but it was
Yeah.
so uncontrolled. I tried it only once. It was all over the place. But I reckon if you get
Yeah.
used to it, you can handle it. But it had a lot of pull, but it was not that much to get me going. It was not pull forward. But if you're
Hmm.
going forward, you're going with the front, and you're losing a lots of pull as well. That was really hard, and then it was really hard to get it handled with the 2 handles. So it was all over the place. But I only tried it for
I would
say
love to
like
try the Pocket Wing.
half an hour. So
Uh,
that was like really, really, yeah, it was not that successful.
yeah. So with yeah, I think it's so interesting. I would love to try the Pocket Wing still because there is something about the Pocket Wing now that when I go back and look at it that I really like. It's just the smallest thing
Yeah, the smallest thing.
ever.
Yeah. I think they're
And
bringing out a second version, eh? I think so. There's something in the pipeline.
oh, I'm sure there would
Yeah,
be. I'm sure there would be. There's been so much progress now in this space that I'm sure they're going to be
yeah,
coming out with something that I think if you're, a pure downwinder foiler and you just want to use it for that, it
yeah,
might actually be the way to go just for the packability. It's just so
yeah,
small. Yeah.
yeah,
That's cool. So when you compare, and I think it's impossible not to compare. Everybody asks me online.
yeah.
I think, and they do ask you as well, like the comparing the BRM and the flow. And you've even done a video
It's
about
really
that,
hard
which I
to
think was
compare.
great. So have
Yeah.
it's hard, isn't it? They're different beasts almost. Like they tell us what you think about it. What do you think about the BRM?
I think that they both are great wings. Like they're both are they have this pro and cons. There's like yeah,
Mm-hmm.
the BIM the best on the BIM it's really small.
Yeah.
Like the like a like my 6 meter BIM is almost the padding size of the 4.2 flow.
Yeah. It's a
It's like
small. It's a
that's it.
different material.
It's way with material. Yeah, but yeah, and it has its place. It's really nice. But yeah, if you, especially I think it's pretty good if you're starting or if you yeah if you're using bigger boards. I think for it's pretty cool the BIM
Mhm.
because it has lots of ground, pulls forward more. It's easier to pack if you're pulling it back together because the deep sometimes you're pulling it in, and if you're not used to it, it blows up again. And it has like this air bubbles everywhere, and it makes it really hard. So I think for starting on something, the BIM is maybe easier, and and the packing size and the flow. I found the flow has lots of lift upwards. If you put it in a little bit higher, it pulls you actually up, and that's what I prefer, because when you're using a small board or like a sinker board, it's really important that you get the board out of the surface and then starting. And then what I like as well, you can do a couple pumps on the wing as well and get the board up, because it has like and that's I think it's friendlier for using smaller boards. And I think it's maybe more an advanced wing. It's hard to say. I spoke to another guy before, and he found that the D-wing is more a beginner wing or something like that. And I just said, no, I feel about it more. It's really hard. There's so many things, because it's also, some people say that the D-wing the flying is more stable than the BIM.
Mm.
It's definitely more stable, but if you're going back and forwards, turning, doing chives, the BIM turns way better than the D-wing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like all like.
It really depends on what aspect of the Parawing you're looking at, right?
Yeah.
I think when you mentioned, if I were to pick the one that I would recommend to a beginner, I would pick the D-wing, because I feel it's just more stable.
Yeah,
and if you hold it on the top of the bar or in the middle of the bar, or it's fine. The BRM requires you to be requires better kite control, which I think you instinctively have because of your kiting background.
Yeah.
And I've seen people that have kiting backgrounds hold the Parawing for the first time, and they will get it in like 30 seconds. They'll be like, cool. Yeah. And then people who don't have the kiting background, they take a little longer to understand it.
Yeah.
So I think maybe for you, the BRM was easier because you're like, well, this is a smaller package, turns a little bit better if I want to pack it away. But yeah, it depends on how you look at it. I find that if a beginner is starting and they can lean on the Parawing a little more with their hand on the board and not worry what the Parawing is doing so much, it just makes that initial...
Yeah, definitely. Because it's definitely super stable, the D-wing, but the BM is more, it's not unstable, but it's more reactive.
Yeah.
Or something like that. Yeah.
Sensitive, I think.
So, sensitive,
yeah. I agree.
That's
I agree.
Yeah.
What other brands have you heard are coming out with Parawings, if any, that you're excited about?
Definitely of the Ozone one.
Yeah, me too.
They have lots of backgrounds in parasailing and stuff like that. So I think they put lots of work into it, and that must be really. I'm really interested. I'm definitely getting one, definitely, because
I have the guys that stock Ozone gear in Torquay, Stonker. They will bring some of them. I'm definitely going to try them as well. And I agree. If you have a paragliding background, you know how to build a bridle kite, and you have so much R&D. I'm excited about the Ozone. It should be like a couple of weeks away now. It's not far.
Yeah, I think they're coming. I went yesterday to the shop in Frio, the stand-up foil shop, and they said end of March. I should be on the way, so it's like they should be there pretty soon. So
yeah, I've
been
seeing the guys from kiting Puerto Rico as well with the North, and I've seen clips of them, and I'm always looking to see how it flies and how how it reacts, and that looks interesting as well. Nash is coming out with them as well in a couple months, so everybody will launch.
Everybody will.
What did you think about that F1 inflatable Parawing? Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw it, but I don't get the thing, because how does it inflate? Because the cool thing is to pack it away. But I maybe be completely wrong. That's what Gong is doing with the longer lines. I don't know.
Yeah.
So maybe they're doing something what you not can pack away, and maybe you can put it in a wind window and it drifts better. I don't know. I didn't understand. I didn't understand it, but maybe I don't know. I thought what's the point thing of the thing? The cool for me that I only want it for downwinding. That's what the most thing what I thought, because I struggled with the pedal because of my back and stuff, and I want it only for downwinding, because that's the thing what I'm really happy, and I want to pack it easy and stuff like that, and that's why the D-wing is a big wing, but when you're a big guy like me, it's not that big anymore. And if you get actually,
Yeah.
there's some technique how you can put it better together and like better pouches and stuff like that, and then it's not too bad. Even I have a 5.5 D-ring, and it's a massive one, but it's not too bad. If you like almost 2 meters, it's not too big.
Yeah, like when we're talking about you just spoke about what is your technique. Okay, so this is where I like to talk a little bit about technique, and you said that if you pack it away in a proper way, it's not that bad. Like, what is your stowing technique?
I normally I shoot out, then I shoot out to the ocean, then I turn with the wind, turn a little bit to the beach, and then pulling the back lines, pulling it all in. And then I have this cool clip for where you put the bar in from a mate of mine. Wait, I have it here actually.
Is that the one that I forgot his name, but he posted on the Instagram group?
Michael Shepard. Yeah.
Michael Shepard. Yes. Shout out to Michael. Yeah. He did also that awesome.
I can show it.
The net. Yeah, show it. Yes. Get it to us, because I think just the innovation is like people just doing it.
It's like it's the best thing. It's like and it fits to your life, so you can knot it in. It's really easy to thing, and it's a thing from Super Cheap Auto.
Yeah, I got the same thing. It's like a $20 thing from Super Cheap Auto.
So easy. You store it, and then you can press against it, and it's getting smaller and smaller. All the air comes out, so it's pretty easy. So it's there. But I use this one. It's on my harness belt, and then I hook in the bar. You can clip in the bar like that.
Yep.
And then I pull the lines in, and then I just form a. Look at the lines are always in the Parawing, and then grab it from the outside and put it to my chest to get the most air out of it, and then starting slowly folding it a little bit as well, like folding the sides in, and then pressing against, and then I start away, so it's stuffing it into this little net, and then stuffing it inside here, and then again I'm pressing again against it, and it's really small. It's like in the beginning I already start stuffing it in, but if you get the lines from the middle and then get the outside of the Parawing also folding, like a little bit folding it together, and then pressing again and then stuffing it in. So and then it works really well. I have to do a video sometime.
Everybody has this different not different, but they think about it a little bit different. But I think in like the essence of it is to have like this core where the lines are, and you're just putting things on top of that, and trying to keep the lines as
when you have this clip, then your bar doesn't get twisted. So all the time I'm pulling it out again. I'm not the guy then to put it out and ride again, because when I'm stopping, normally I have seaweed or I'm gas out. Then I make it break. But I then put out the wing, and it's not twisted up. Normally, if I stuffed it all in and had the bars somewhere, normally I put it in the belt or something like, or on the top or something. It always got twisted, or sometimes it hangs down and gets flipped around the wing or something like that. So it got always twisted.
Yeah.
And then I had to untangle it a little bit. But with the clip, I never had a twist, because I clip it in, and it's normally, you can't twist it anymore. Because if you pull the lines in, you have the lines there, and then you're folding it together, it's not twisted anymore. And you actually can pull it.
Yeah, that's really good, because that's where a lot of the problem with packing it down is this twist, and sometimes just because it's windy, the lines start going on the wrong side, and you get lines twisted on the backside of the Parawing. So I think just like the line management, and then just making sure that the lines are untwisted is key, because then you can redeploy without having to do something with the Parawing. And
I think also if you're pulling it in, the main thing is going with the wind at that moment. You're going with the wind collapses, pulling the lines in, and then normally the wind completely collapses, and then then I clip it in and I roll it back together.
The one of the things that for me I had to tweak a little bit was the speed that I was going into a bump before I depowered, and I was shooting myself too quick and too fast into the bumps. And then because there's a lot going on, and then you depower it, and all of a sudden all you look at is your hands, and you're on the wrong place, and you end up in a trough, and then you just have to start again. Do you feel it's better to kind of match your speed a little bit, then you depower? How do you think about your speed management?
I go shoot out, turn right into the going downwind with the wind, so more actually going a little bit curling to the beach, so like cross shore to the shore, and then pulling it in. And at the moment I pulling it in, put the handlebar in the clip, then I turn already left.
Yeah.
Don't shoot down the bump and go with the bump. And at the moment I turn left, I'm going a little bit like it's like cutting out against the swell, but it takes a little bit of the speed normally. And then I start packing. It's not, you're not braking, but it's going a little bit slower then. And then at the moment you shoot down, if you're going straight down and then shooting down, there's a lot happening.
Yeah. And also like you don't have to do it quick, right? I think in the beginning I was so like, oh, I have to pack it in quick, but now I'm like, I don't care. I just hold it. I have like those 10 seconds of, okay, I know the speed of the bump. I know where I'm at. Then I'm like, all right, let's start packing. And it's just a little bit more calm, not too.
Yeah, that's a funny thing happened when I was filming, actually. I was packing, pulling the wing in, and then saying, oh, should I have the wing in? And then I grabbed the camera, and I figured out I still had the wing in my hand. And I had the camera in the other hand, so I couldn't pack it anymore. What I'm doing here. Like, really
too much going on, man.
We got to want to do everything, right? But the main thing, you have to be really relaxed and do it not stressful. And the best is don't shooting down bumps, going across bumps. It makes it way easier. Go out, look for a nice bump, not the biggest one, for a nice bump, and maybe what I normally do, I go out, and then I see a bump, and then I go behind the bump, let me lift up a little bit, and then I pull, and then I turn right onto this bump, and then I pull it in, and and then turn straight away left across the bump, and then you have a lot of time normally. You can surf and hold it in your hand and take your time packing it together, and and especially if the bar is solid and everything, it's pretty cool. Like,
I have to try that clip. That clip looks like a really interesting thing to add on to the gear. You've experienced now a couple of different brands. You're obviously getting some crowdsourced, parts and stuff. Where do you think the gear can get better? Like where is the gear lacking right now?
I think that definitely the Parawings, I hope they're getting better and smaller to pack, more powerful, maybe better upwind and stuff like that. So but and boards also, like finding the right board for me is pretty hard at the moment, because what's the same journey when I was winging. It's still to find when you're heavy, it's really hard to find boards, because there are not many boards they make for your weight, or or you have to go big boards, but you don't want to go too big. But it's really, you have to compromise. And I think definitely boards are that hopefully there's more Parawing boards coming out, because what I found out, especially with the access board, that's why I'm using the foil drive board, because it's super flat and it takes off like so easy. That's why the Sonoma what I had was also pretty flat as well. But it's even flatter. It's completely flat. It takes off easy. The only disadvantage is if you're coming down, touching the water, you have to be prepared. Sometimes you go over the handlebars. But it's not too bad. You can figure, if you get used to it, it's not that you know what's happening, and it then can pop up. But the first time I said, it grabs the water. It's funny because it releases pretty easy, but if it touches down, it grabs, actually. It's really hard to get it released. So
it's still sticky.
It's pretty sticky. Yeah, sticky on the touchdowns, not on the release. In the release, it's like, this one with the 5.5, 16, 17 knots on a big foil, when it's 70 liters. It's like 40 liters less.
That's really
than my
good.
weight. It's completely sinking up to my over my hip, up to my belly button. If I put
and
it down,
you're taking the 5.5 in those conditions?
And 5.5,
Yeah, the 5.5 Parawing.
It's around 20 knots, something like that. I go for the 4.2, and I can use the 4.2 up to almost. I never had 30 knots, but I had like 26, 27. But I used the BIM in 35 knots. It was a
Dude,
lot.
I saw a video. I don't even remember which one it was, but it looked mental. It like the sea was just white, and it was like I think you put a bunch of stuff like just crazy. Talk to me about that session. Do you know the one I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know. It was funny because my nephew was filming it with the drone, and he made this plan because he was flying the drone, and it's a 5K run, and I said, okay, he's flying the drone, and
Yep.
it was hard to get up because it was way too windy. I was sitting, put the wing up, and straight away it was on foil, still sitting on the board. It was like insane. It was like, so it took me a while to get up. And then yeah, he followed me with the drone. It was like yeah, it was really really good. That
That
yeah,
it looked
it
insane.
was like insane. It was like around 35 knots. Yeah,
Yeah.
but
And there was a bit of swell as well, wasn't
it
there?
was
Like the
like
bumps were
solid.
huge.
It was solid. Like the when we had like 35 knots, that the bumps getting like five like higher than me, like two and two and a
Yeah.
half, sometimes three, like massive bumps, and it was like yeah. And it was hard on the BM to shoot out because I hold on with my dear life on the 5 meters. So I tried to go a little bit downwind, but it was so hard. Yeah, it was pulling my arms. But yeah, at the moment I was up, it was all good. Then put it away, and then was like it was a sick run. It was one of my best runs, definitely. It was like yeah.
That looked yeah.
But
I was
lucky
looking at that. I'm
somebody
like,
flew the drone actually because I thought the drone is not surviving. But yeah,
yeah, you have to be really because you can go down with the drone, but then when you're flying it back up, it doesn't come back to you, and you see the battery go.
he's not coming back. He flew all the way. The plan was he's flying all the 5Ks and landed with me. Then on the
Ah,
beach.
yeah, that's a good
It
idea.
was hard because 5Ks,
That's a good
then
idea.
then the coverage was not that good anymore. High up is not good, but if you're going lower, there's no connection anymore. And it was really hard, so I had to grab it out of the air.
Jeez, that's so risky.
But it was good fun. It was
Pushing the
really,
limits, Sveny.
yeah, but it was really cool. It was one of the definitely the best run. And I was lucky that somebody filmed it on the because the
Yeah.
bumps were insane. It was like I used the Apple Tree, a really small one. I think it was also 70 or under 70 liters of 3 or 5.2 Apple Tree board. But that needs a lot of. I need minimum 25 knots to get it going on the BIM because
Yeah.
it's too short. So I think for boards you need a flat board, a little bit of length to get easy going. Yeah.
Mid lengths are great.
Yeah.
Look, and I want to talk to you about this as well because you have a lot of experience now with trying boards and you've tried a few boards, and I'm looking to build my next board like just for parawinging, and you find that a flat bottom is good for the planing and that just getting going. What lengths and what widths are you looking at the moment in your head that you feel are
So
good?
for me, definitely like the 5.8 is pretty good. Maybe a 6, a little bit longer, but for more wind, I think the 5.8 is actually it's a perfect number for me for if it's windy, everything over 20, 21 knots and with the smaller powering or with the bigger something like 70 knots. But for light wind to get going, maybe around 14 knots, 13, 14 knots, I look for like 100-liter board. So maybe 10% less than my weight,
Yeah.
or same like your weight, something like 10% less, same like your weight, but around 6 for me, 6.8 maybe.
Yeah, I like
yeah.
those dimensions.
I used the blast for lighter wind, but it's only a 5.4, and it's 95 liters. It gets definitely better in lighter wind than this one, because I have.
Yeah.
But it would be better this one, say a little bit longer, say same length maybe, or 6.2 or something. I would be, but I would say a perfect board for me it would be 6.6 and 100 liters or something like that, and 20 wide, 21
You
wide.
would get up
something
on
like
anything
that.
in that board.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah, I find like I have my mid length is a 5'10", 18 wide by 85 liters, and I wouldn't mind having it a little bit wider because when it does get 25, 30 knots out there, it gets messy and just the balance on the 18 wide can be tricky sometimes. So I'm thinking for myself, it could be even in that range between a 5'5" to a 5'10", 19 and a half and 60 to 65 liters. And I think that I can get up on pretty much anything with that. I'm talking to everyone about this because I want it validated before I go ahead and build it because I want to get it right.
No, definitely. That's what You need flat bottom, not too skinny as well, like a little bit of width. I wouldn't go too wide. I think 22 for the heavier guys is not too bad,
Yeah.
but not. I wouldn't go under 19 because
Yeah.
especially if you
Thin.
have well, it depends if you have like this the new Frank boards. They say that they're 16 and they're saying that they're pretty stable. Maybe that's the key, but I don't know how they. Yeah, but there's also I think there's something coming because he's into Parawinging as well, and there's something.
Dude, I've heard that everybody who's I've heard something as well. Everybody who had orders placed for the downwind board said, "No, scrap that. Get me a Parawinging board." So I think a lot of the deposits changed, the projects changed.
So it could be that he figured something out that you go skinnier. I don't know. But at the moment, what we have now and what's in my head, I think like the 19 to 21 mark for me is pretty sweet.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I agree with that. I think I don't know if Parawinging needs necessarily the very narrow boards like downwinding and paddling, because I actually feel that it's good to feel the Parawing fully loaded and a little bit sticky on the water, and then you use a very porpoisey pump to get up rather than a speed, pump up.
Yeah,
and I think that's why you're having a lot of success as well with those smaller boards. You're having all that power being captured and harnessed there, and you're not using the board speed too much to get up. You're using just the power that is in the Parawing to pump up. Does that make sense?
Yeah. But I used a Sonova Carver 6.2 like the stock one. I think it's also 95 liters, same like the Blast. It's 6.2.
Yeah.
And the Blast is 5.5. And the 6.2 Carver I think it's 19 or 20. I think it's 20 wide. And it's super unstable. It's really corky.
Yeah.
I struggled. Like, it was horrible.
Yep.
The nose, it's longer than this. The nose got into the water, and it was horrible. I couldn't get it up. It was water pushing. I got easier up on the 70 liter board than on this 95 Sonova.
Interesting.
So it was really funny because it has lots of rocker. It's way too thick, what I reckon, for Parawing. It's too corky. And then I went to the Blast, and the Blast was so easy, and it's way shorter actually. It's wider, it's a 23. And it didn't make sense in the first time, but it's not that thick. It's way more stable in the water. I think I can't. It's funny. On longer board, I sunk the nose, and it was always water all the time. But the Blast is same literage, shorter, but it sits on the water.
Yeah. Interesting.
It's really hard, but I think the bottom shape makes a lot of thing, and I think bottom shape length, not too wide, but also not too skinny and not too thick. I don't think we need thickness. What they have in downwind boards, like lots of downwind boards, they're really thick, and like they make it sometimes too cold. I don't know, but I don't.
No, I hear you. I want to have a little bit more width to distribute the volume a little more and have it thin. I agree, and it'll make a better experience once you're up as well, just being more connected to the foil.
Yeah.
What's your favorite conditions to get out there when you're like if you were to choose the wind conditions and surf conditions? What do you would love to get out on?
I think around everything over like 21 to 25 knots. I like more the stronger winds. The bump's getting bigger.
Yeah,
and I can use smaller foils, and it's getting really skady. I'm more into. I was lately trying more the fireballs. Fireballs are really good fun. You can turn them still, but I use them only for longer runs. But everything is like 21, 25 knots. I use a Spitfire. It's like a big skate park. It's like feeling like a kid in a skate park. It's so much fun.
Isn't
it's
it?
Like it's the best thing. Yeah.
I know when you get the feeling of downwinding on a small board, and look, I think that's why Parawinging is so amazing. Like it allows people like me. I'm not a pro. I'm not a great rider, and I would never be able to prone downwind like some people do on a small board. But it gives me the opportunity to do that. And when you're there and then you're doing it, you're like, I have to turn. Like that's the only thing that you can do. Like there's no point in going fast. I'm just like, I have to rip this thing.
Yeah. Now that's why I like the Spitfires and like the skaty feeling. And I think like everything, like the 21 knots, the 25 knots, that then yeah
It's
creates
perfect.
really nice.
Yeah.
I think around 23 knots, it's getting really glassy as well. The bumps that they're getting really
Mm.
nice shape, and that's really cool. I liked it, and it's like the stronger condition. I definitely like. I like also light conditions for yeah, but not when you ask me, prefer definitely stronger conditions
Preferred.
in that because yeah, definitely yeah.
Yeah.
It's like yeah,
I'm not even using foils that are like super high aspect. I write code, and code has the S
yeah,
series and the R
yeah, of course,
series. The R series are like the 13 aspect ratio,
yeah.
the S around the 9.5, and I just have the S series. I
Yeah,
have no R
they see.
series.
I tried them a lot, like yeah, because when
Yeah.
Marcus was still working in the shop there, we
Yeah.
had them. Yeah, there's like I tried the 850 when it was still a prototype, and it was mind blowing because we tried it on a it was a knee high as well,
Yeah.
and he said, "Sven, try it," and I said, "Okay." I said, "It's 850. What do you expect?" And I tried on this like 29 liters Sonoma board, and I actually connected two waves, and I pumped around.
Wow.
And I said, "It's insane." I said, for that time, I said, "Fuck." Blow my mind. I said it's really it's
They're good.
crazy. It's
Yeah.
really good what they created. It's like insane.
I will get into the R series at some point, but like you, I like turning, and
Yeah,
I'm not really worried about time and speed, and I enjoy it
yeah,
sometimes. I like to mix it up, but I feel, and some of the boys down here in the coast, I don't know if you know Jared Snow and those guys,
yeah,
they're
correct.
like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
absolutely insane. They actually are faster on the S series than the R series because when they're going fast, they're fully in control.
Yeah.
And they don't have that feeling of being, riding at 80% or just holding on to something that's just like too
Yeah.
fast. And I found it interesting because he did a 1 minute 45 kilometer
That's
on the 720S. I'm like, far out, dude. It's yeah, no,
that's it.
they're insane.
That's a, that's
How did Parawinging? I don't know, it's just yeah, they're out of control. Those guys. How did
insane.
Parawinging improve your foiling skills?
Definitely like ocean reading and stuff like that. Like this downwind skill to read the ocean, to
Hmm.
understand the ocean, to understand the bumps. I did it quite often with the wing as well. But with the wing, you always have the wing in yeah, it's
Yeah,
always in the way. Yeah,
yeah.
I use now the Vario, and it's actually not too bad. The Vario flex
Hmm.
really nice, and I say, oh my god, it's not too bad, but it's still you still have something in your hand, and it's really hard to read the bumps. Sometimes you can't see them, but yeah, with the Pari, I think like understanding the ocean and everything, and also this to call it like this meditation state when you're out there alone, and that helps me a lot because I'm really active and really I can't sit normally for long energy. So yeah, but yeah, it helps
You're
me
doing
a
well.
lot.
We're almost 50 minutes in. You're doing
So,
well.
so that helps me a lot to calm down and also like this. It's like it's insane. After every session, I'm so relaxed and so happy.
Mm,
It's yeah, it's
yeah,
insane. It's like it's really cool and also like yeah, like the skating turns. It's yeah, it helps me a lot. But I'm really glad.
yeah.
Like
My
we do a
turns
lot of
got
with
improved so
towing.
much.
We do a lot of towing, so we do like yeah, I get lots of like good ways as well to towing and stuff like that. But yeah, I think that's
Hmm.
the main thing is like ocean understanding and stuff like that. So that's pretty cool. What I love, yeah,
Hmm.
and go
Do
with
you take
with
the
the flow.
parawing out in the waves or just downwinding?
Just downwinding. I
Yeah.
tried it once, but I wasn't that successful. This with I tried it on a small foil, on a small board. I think I have to try it on a big board, big foil,
Yeah.
and then maybe I have more success because then I struggle to get up again. And yeah,
Mm.
I have to. That's always when you're getting. I have to commit to get like going bigger. The first go and get it sorted. So yeah, I have to get a bit more goals on the waves and see how it goes. There's this one guy where is he in Mauritius?
Hmm.
He's riding these big swells
With what? With the parawing?
with the powering. Did you see him? What is his
Ah,
name?
no.
Dimitri. Is it Dimitri? I think it's Mauritius, and he's like, I can send it to you.
Yeah,
He's
send it
riding a
through.
massive swell, like massive on the powering, like massive waves, and then going back and go again.
Oh wow, I
So it
definitely
looks
want to
pretty
see that.
cool.
I haven't
Yeah,
seen that
yeah,
video.
yeah.
I spoke with Cynthia Brown, Sinbad, and she's a legend in wind sports, and she said that Kane de Wild was in Hukipa with a Parawing, shredding, like killing it on proper 8-foot Hawaiian. Like I really want to see that. But
Yeah,
waves
definitely
is
wanna
hard,
see
man.
it.
Waves is a different thing, but you tow foil a lot, and what can you like? What tips can you give people like navigating whitewater, and like can you make any correlations with like people that want to parawing and your experience with tow surfing?
What you mean, like because you were cutting out at the moment, I got only the half what you said.
Sorry, I'll repeat that. So yeah, so
Yeah,
there's
yeah,
obviously a lot of people would want to use the parawing for wave riding,
yeah.
and I noticed that you do a lot of tow surfing. So do you have any tips on how to navigate whitewater or anything that could help people that want to parawing in the waves?
Yeah, definitely. The first thing, don't go too deep. Stay on the shoulder for the first goals, and then
Hmm.
don't go too deep. I don't think because with a pairing match you can go like in the white water, you can tumble down going in the washing machine and things like that, but nothing that if you save your head and get a helmet or whatever, you should be safe pretty good. With a wing, you always got your wing gets destroyed on the first go. If you're going in the white water, your foil goes through the wing and then it's gone. On a pairing, should be pretty safe. But I think the best thing stay on the shoulder the first time. Play a little bit in like on the shoulder and then go a little bit step by step in deeper like to the white water or something like that.
Yeah. How do you navigate the whitewater when you're tow surfing? Because I find it's horrible.
Normally, I normally go pretty deep with the foil. Not too high.
Mm-hmm.
At the moment, you're going too high. You're in the white water. You have to see that you get under the white water, like still in the green, and like you have to try. That's why normally I have a 90 mast or 100 mast to
Interesting.
get it lower in the water, get through the white water, and then go out. So if you're going,
Yeah,
you can also
nice.
you can slide over the white water, but I'm not that good to get like cut
Oh,
through the white water or something. So the best thing if you're going through white water, you're going deep with the foil, go through, and then yeah. That works pretty good. Or
nice.
going in front of white water. That's the other thing. If you're fast
Yeah,
enough, go in front and make a big turn around the white water. So yeah. Otherwise flying, yeah.
live.
Not too high. High is like yeah.
It's
It's not
death.
that good.
You mentioned something that I think it's important for us to touch on a little bit, which is using a helmet. What kind of safety gear do you use when you're parawinging?
When I'm paddling, I only have like my vest, like like
Mm-hmm.
this, my life jacket, and I have this little PLD.
Yeah,
What we
beautiful.
That's what I normally use because we normally are out 1K, sometimes 2Ks, and it's like it's a little bit of yeah safety, but your peace of mind, what you
Yeah.
have, and then
Do you take
what
a
we always
phone with you or anything like
yeah
that?
I always have a phone with me as well,
Mm-hmm.
and what we normally do is we have a WhatsApp group and we
Yeah.
share the location for 8 hours.
Yeah, nice.
Everybody
We do the
shares the
same
day.
here.
If they're back on the beach, then they stop. That's what we do, and that helps a lot because you see, even if you want to do a second run, it helps because you see the guys far behind or whatever.
Yep.
So we can do a second one or something like that. Also, yeah, it helps a lot, and you know where everybody is, and yeah, that's pretty
Yep.
cool. And then
If
I've
you're at work, you could just swear at them because they're having fun and you're just at
yeah,
work.
the whole thing, like, beep, 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 beep. So, yeah,
Like
no, that's
bastards,
pretty
they're
cool.
getting out there.
Yeah, then I have
Have you
a
ever
helmet.
have you been in like a yeah, the helmet? Yeah. Did you
Yeah, a
use a
helmet.
soft helmet?
I use the soft helmet, but not much for downwinding. I use it more for when we tow in.
Yep.
For downwind, I normally like a bucket head or something like that. But yeah, yeah,
Which
lots of
soft
guys
helmet do
actually.
you use?
I have the soft surfboard helmet from DMC fins.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's
Because
the one. Yeah.
I tried a few. I'm not really. I like the ones that leave my ear exposed because I don't like
Okay.
anything covering my ear. I struggle to balance or like I don't like anything
Okay. Yeah.
muffling.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Um,
like that the stuff they go over the ears, but I like it because they don't fill up with water
yep.
and they keep you really warm. in winter, especially when you're on the ski or something like that, when it's cold. And they had this nice flap as well for your back, that you then got sunburn. And I found that fit perfectly. If you have to duck dive, normally like other helmets, they fill up with water, and then yeah, it's like
Yeah.
I hate it. That's why I like the soft helmet. They're pretty good. And if you hit the foil, it works pretty good. Board doesn't matter, but yeah, you have to be careful, especially if it goes around here. Then yeah, you get.
Yeah.
I got some guys. They got some cuts here, but yeah, otherwise they
God.
work really, really, really good. And I have other
Have you?
guys. They use actually. He showed me that. Actually, it was 2 days ago. He has like a fluoro Rashi, which is cut proof, and a board short, which is cut proof. And it's actually, I
Wow.
googled it. It's only Gong is doing that. I think maybe they had a patent, or I
Wow.
don't know, but it's handy because imagine you fall into the foil and you have actually your board short is cut proof. It's perfect.
That's
Or
awesome.
your short, it's really good. I think that more companies have to look into that because it's like, yeah. I don't know if they have patent on it or I don't know because
Yeah.
it's like I never saw it from other brands because I checked it and that they have this Rashi. It's a fluoro Rashi and a black pant that's completely cut proof. So if you fall
I'll
with
look
the
into
foil,
that. I'm actually going
that's
to make
really
a note.
cool.
That's a cool one.
That's a good one. Yeah,
Gong
Nice.
Rashi.
Yeah, that's pretty. I spoke actually. I had it like 2 days ago. I spoke to this guy and he said, yeah, that's from Gong. And I said, oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah.
Has anything really gnarly happened to you out there parawinging that was dangerous?
And it's powering nothing. I'm not. I always thought
Do you
about
wear a
maybe
leash or
if your
anything like
line's
that?
getting twisted around. I on
Hmm.
the board, yeah, but not on the powering.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
I
Like I
don't,
see some people
I,
with the
I
with
don't
the
see that.
leash on the parawing,
I
and
don't know why. I don't know because
yeah.
if it's flying away, I'm more. I'm more. I'm thinking sometimes maybe it sinks. I don't know if it's too long in the water. Maybe the powering
Oh,
sinks,
look,
but
it
it's not
takes a lot of
flying
time to
away.
sink.
Yeah, that's why I think about it's not flying
Yeah.
away. That's why.
No.
That's why I think it's definitely stopping. That's why I don't think. At least
Hmm.
I'm more. Get sometimes it didn't happen with the dealing. It happened with the BRM when I untangled it, especially in like high winds and it's over 25 knots and you have a big tangle. And I didn't use the
Hmm.
tip from Michael before. And there was a big tangle. And I tried to untangle it. That your finger gets uh twisted around the line and then the wing pulls. That's the only thing what I think it would maybe could happen. That you get like
Yeah,
losing I
that's
don't know because
dangerous.
if it's really got it, that's really dangerous. But otherwise, on the powering, it's really hard. That's something. It's like, yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know.
I feel I mean, obviously, if you're in like 30 knots, it's an issue. There's been people that had been declawed with the
Yeah,
kite, like a
yeah,
normal kite that
yeah,
they
normal
get
kite.
their,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's right.
but that has so much more energy than the
Actually, yeah,
parawing to do
yeah,
that. The parawing can still hurt you, but I think to do a proper like declaw, I don't know, like you have to be in super overpowered conditions.
yeah.
But
That's why I think
um,
only when you're overpowered. Yeah, that one day when I was overpowered and you have the kite up and you're trying to get on your board and so much power and it lifts you up all the time. You have to be
mhm,
careful with the foil because you're shooting up like a
yeah,
rocket. I was sitting on the board and it lifted me like a meter or 1.5 meters off the board. I'm 110 kilos. It was insane. I was sitting holding with both hands and it lifted me from the board. I said, what's going on? That's a little bit there, but it's only if it's like really, yeah, a lot of wind. But otherwise, I had way more dangerous calls like paddling, like hitting the paddle, falling
mhm.
into the foil, or something like that. Yeah, or down. Yeah,
I fell into the
obviously.
parawing once, and it wrapped around my face like an
Oh yeah,
octopus in the water.
that's really that's. I think that's
So
awful. You
weird.
have to be careful. Yeah,
Yeah, and just getting caught in the parawing, like if you're in the water and the pairings around you, slowly the lines start to tangle around your foot, and when you look at it, you're just like you're inside the parawing. So
yeah,
yeah, it's good to keep it far and like at a distance as much as possible.
yeah,
And
yeah.
what's a good safety tip or safety advice for people that's starting out?
So to starting out, definitely use a life jacket. Definitely, maybe
Hmm.
use a helmet and yeah, I don't know. Especially if you're falling. I had this close call also falling into the powering once, but I didn't get
Hmm.
wrapped off on my face because yeah. But it normally happens when you're pulling it in, right? You pull the kite in, you're
Yeah.
going downwind, and then you're shooting down. So yeah, normally what I normally do is if you if that try to hold it in one hand or something like that and throw it away or something like that. Don't hold to
Yeah,
your cart, things like that. So if you're holding it, not packing it away, maybe throw it away when you're falling or something like
that's
that.
a good tip.
It's better than holding into it and fall. I just only fall onto it because it was already packed, but I imagine if you're pulling it in, and at the moment you're pulling it in, maybe it's still blown up a little bit and you're falling forward to fall straight with your face into it, and that's like, yeah. So maybe pull it in more to the side or something like that, and maybe get it fast packed together, like that you have it in your hand, and if you're falling, you can throw it away or something like that. That's maybe better because if you're falling with
Yeah,
your
I
face
think we're
into it, it's
also
like,
learning how, yeah, even learning how to fall with it, I think is important. Like when you're winging, you learn how to fall with the wing where you're
yeah,
not, damaging your wing or anything like that. It would be the same with the Parawing. Maybe
yeah,
have the Parawing a little bit further away from you. I think that's a good tip.
yeah.
And are there any spots that you want to explore with the Parawing that you haven't gone to yet?
Or definitely, there are many, but if I'm telling them, they get in trouble again. I always get in trouble
In
when I'm posting videos or something like that. I don't know if they're Sven, what are you doing? There have been many spots there. Definitely, I want to do like long downwinders. I did one long downwinder with the wing.
Mhm.
So I think it's now 3.5 years ago from Manja to Hillary's. It's like 100 kilometers. And I want to do that definitely once
Oh,
with the Parawing and stuff like that. So maybe like longer ones or something like that. That's
that's massive.
definitely.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, and then definitely I definitely want to try this wave thing because I'm not convinced yet. But
Hmm.
we have not the perfect spot for that. We have only one. I need a spot where you have several waves where you can drift maybe a little bit downwind and it doesn't matter. So yeah, I had to find something where I can try it, and yeah. But yeah, that's definitely
Yeah.
what I definitely, this wave thing, I think I'm not sold yet on that, but I think on the
Hmm.
perfect spot, it's a lot of fun. Definitely.
Yeah.
But for
I'm
our
sure.
conditions here, at the moment, there's not much happening. So yeah, but
Yeah.
yeah, I
What's
think that
Perth like to like throughout the year? What's the good time to go to Perth for downwinding?
for downwinding all the summertime starting from October or late October, beginning November until yeah, it ends now or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like epic conditions. The only thing what we have seaweed sometimes. If you're getting a westerly wind in, it push the seaweed in, or if you get like a storm, it loses all the seaweed. Or like this year we had lots of summer swell. Normally in summer we don't have any swell. So if it's a meter 50
Mm.
or something like that, that's big. But we had like lots of big swells, like 2 meter. We had last week we went towing and it was like solid overhead for me. But like it was like for summer, it's unbelievable. But that rips all off the seaweed. And then it's the next day you have like lots of weed. And if you have a westerly wind as well, then it pushes in this time. Yeah, we had lots of weeds. So yeah, that's the only
Yeah.
downside here in Perth. And everybody's complaining about the weed. It was really bad this year, but last year was not too bad. It depends. I think because we had lots of like big swells,
Mm.
summer swells. So we normally don't have much swell in summer, more in winter, is this big. Yeah.
Do you do you have a technique to get rid of weed, like some guys that are just like popping their foils out of the water and stuff like that?
Yeah, I tip breed with some foil like the fiberboards. You easily can tip breach, and then you can
Hmm.
get rid maybe of the one from the tip a little bit. Um, I don't know. There's many people asking me about footsteps on power winging.
Yeah.
Is this a go? I'm not into jumping anymore because of my back. Maybe
Hmm.
that's what I normally did on the wing. I always jumped quickly and got rid of the weed, and I think maybe that's like yeah. Even the guys now downwind paddling style, Hugh Mitchell. I don't know if you know him.
It's crazy. Doing a backflip. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
backflip. That she did. There was Donny doing the backflip, but you did this. He told him yesterday a video up where he get rid of weed. He just to get rid of the weed, and he fly the weed away. So yeah, but
Yeah. Some.
yeah, there's more coming, 100%. I mean, you can
Mm.
chuck boards without footsteps as well. So it's like yeah, there's definitely.
Yep.
So I think we have to train more here in Perth to get rid of the weed. To train for
Yeah,
jumping and like that.
I'm keen to put some straps on. I'm keen to
Yeah,
put some straps on and like what Boz Mueller is doing and all those things. I think there's so much fun to be
yeah,
had in freestyle. I'm
yeah,
obviously not
yeah,
going to be doing backflips or anytime
yeah.
soon, but even just, you know, a pop 3 or something like that, and doing more kind of wake style tricks. Like there's so much to grow. Like, where do you think the Parawing will go this year? Like, I think 2025 will be crazy for Parawinging.
I think definitely more downwind. I think it will kick off because I see how many people went into downwind this year paddling, and I think way more getting into it now with the Parawing because they think it's maybe an easier start to get into downwinding.
Yeah.
Definitely that. And then if you see the guys like Balls, if they're putting up videos on Instagram like that, there's more coming like the freestyle stuff and like backflips, double backflips, I don't know.
Ooh, double. We're talking about doubles already.
I don't know. There's lots of stuff coming in there. I think that it's pretty new now. It's like what is it? The Pocket Wing is 2 years now or something like that, or 1.5
The
years.
Pocket Wing is probably 2 years. The BRM launched September 24.
Yeah.
That's when I ordered mine, and it took like a month to get here. I got it around late October or something like that, and I started in sometime around there.
But it's like,
yeah, I think that there's going to start to have. I think for 2025, everybody will. I honestly, I think that 20 to 30% of wingers will own a Parawing by the end of this year, and that number will double the following year because it's a great complement for your quiver.
Yeah.
You know, for traveling, it's incredible. You can travel with 3 Parawings and a mid length. You're done. You're done. You can get out in any condition.
Yeah, and it's a bigger brands jumping on it. I think that's the main thing because now it was BRM. Nobody heard about, like most of the wingers never heard about BRM. I think so. Maybe the guys, they were kiting before, but yeah, they were a little bit skeptic. Then now the D-Wing, all of it, it looks cool, but if the big brands like Nash, Ozone, North, all the guys that they're having wings from, they're jumping on it.
Yeah,
it's getting big. Everybody's definitely buying one, and I maybe put the price a little bit down. I don't know because it was like hefty with the first ones, but it was every cent, 100%. So
yeah. I copped that BRM, and I'm like, I'm paying full price, tax, shipping, everything.
I said I paid because I wanted, and it looks so cool. And it was every cent. That's why I bought a 6 as well after. So it was every cent. Like that.
Yeah, I agree. It was, and I admire like everything that Greg's done, like being like not a big brand, putting all his money into it and launching this thing. I think it's like you do have to reward that first mover, you know, like there's so much time and effort that goes into it.
I have to say the customer service is top notch.
Yeah.
Funny story.
What did you break? Not
me. My wife broke it. Very funny. Normally I break everything. I didn't think everybody knows it. But yeah, the BM, what I think in the beginning, it's really hard to dry out. So I hanged it normally in the garage, and then I put it down in the garage and laid it down in the garage to dry it. And my wife came back with the car, and she didn't see it. And she drove
she ran over it.
She ran over the bar. And the bar cracked. And I said, oh no. And I straight away texted Greg and said, oh, my wife drove over the bar. No worries, I tell you what. After 5 days, he sent an express. After 5 days, the bar was
That's
there.
awesome.
It was sick.
That's awesome.
It was like, because I couldn't use it because it was already, it was cracked, the bar.
That is so cool to hear, man. Insane. Like that responsiveness.
It's really good. And then I had 1 year also on the 5 that the bar got on the side it got a little bit like not broke like the bridles
frayed.
But they got because the BIM is not like a Velcro thing, so that they saw it on the side and they sometimes break. Then you can see the carbon bar out, and he texted him. They just released a new bar, and he sent the new bar now. It's like they have now a bar.
That's so cool, man.
And things like, but like it's pretty cool. Like the customer service is insane, and the communication for such a small brand, like it's really good. It's really good.
Yeah. Look, if you're listening to this, or if you're ever listening to this, Greg, awesome work, man. Thanks for everything, because his launch just catapulted everything. It just changed everything.
Definitely. At first, it was like insane. Yeah.
Yeah. And the other thing I feel might be a trend for this year is once all these Parawings are out, I think there will be like a downwinding model, the freestyle model, and they will start having little differences between each other for stability. Like to me right now, I don't care about stability. I would rather the smallest, most packable thing. But now I have all the flow, so I'm gonna just like I'm not gonna be changing. I would rather buy a new like ozone to try it rather than going back. But material, thickness, all that stuff, like I think they will start to be very different. Like I would love a 2 meter, super thin, minimal bridles just to get out for downwinding, and then I would use another one if I'm doing an upwinder or like if I want to do freestyle or whatever.
Yeah,
We'll
I
see.
think so because like Gong is already doing like the three models and doing like the what they have like a freestyle downwind model what you can easily pack and stuff like that. So
The double skin. What do you think about the double skin stuff?
the, I don't know. I try it. I have no idea. I would love to try it, how it works. But yeah, I quite often I use 2 rigs. If the wind is not
same.
up really, I use the 5.5. Put the 4 in the or put the 4.2 in the backpack, and it doesn't bother me the little backpack on the back. It's so good using 2 wings like that, and you always can finish your session. So
yeah, I do that a lot
cool.
now
So
because
that's
I like on days that you can't really get a shuttle or whatever, I just put one in my belt, a bigger or smaller size, whatever I think the wind will do. And then if I'm doing short runs, I don't really pack it in. I just hold it in my hand and ride it. And I think I get better deploys and, better success that way. And then I always have a second Parawing if conditions change.
Yeah, no, that's really good. That's what I think. If you have to you can go upwind really good. You shoot upwind for 5K, pack it away, get your other one, where you get your only out of the water, easy packable.
Yeah.
And then go up, something like that. So yeah. Or even what I said to the pedal guys, lots of pedal guys asked me about the Parawing, and I think it's also good for the pedal guys as a safety feature.
Yeah, 100%.
If the pedal breaks or something like that, and so many guys that the pedal break that to swap pedals or something. But if you're going alone, or you have the Parawing or getting out to a break, they don't have to pedal out like a K. They're getting the Parawing, getting out, pack the Parawing away, and start pedaling. Because there's some spots they have to pedal like out 1-2 Ks. They can do the Parawing to get out, and then there's so many options. So yeah, I think
there's a lot. The boys in the coast, they're like hardcore downwinders on the paddle. They just like they do 2-3 downwinders every day, and there's no rest day anymore because if it's a bit on shore, they'll go out like you said, a couple of Ks, which will give them a good angle that they don't have to like just peel right or peel left all the time. And then they just start their run, 2 kilometers, 3 kilometers into the ocean, and then they have a perfect angle.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
Cool, Sveny. Look, this awesome chat, man. I think, just meeting you online just because you froth on the Parawing and I'm just all over the Parawing as well. And now getting to meet you through this call has been awesome. And thank you for accepting the invitation as well to come and chat. You had no idea what this was.
Thank you for having me. Pretty stoked.
Yeah, dude, I think, look, I just want to put as much information out there as possible. I think it's so new. Nobody knows anything about this. Everybody's exploring in their own little niches. So if we just have a place that everybody can congregate and put everything online, that Facebook group that we're all in, I think it's Parawinging Foiling, something like that. You'll find it if you look for it, is great. So thank you very much for coming to the podcast. Keep ripping. If I go to WA, I'm going to hit you up because I would love to get out with and just explore Parawinging with you guys down there. You guys have a really cool community in Perth. Like it seems like everyone's so friendly, so cool, and awesome foilers. Like everybody rips. It's awesome.
They're really good and like a massive crew. It's going bigger and bigger. I think like one of the WhatsApp crews is over 100 people now. It's insane. It's going bigger and bigger. Yeah, yesterday was really lots of traffic actually out there.
Was it? Getting a little busy.
Yeah, I tried. I really funny. I tried yesterday a foil drive. the first time, like, that I have to get, like, I want to try it like this. I've tried a max and I thought it was not my thing, but I tried a sim and it was pretty funny. So I was out with other guys on a foil drive. So I was 3 guys on foil drive. Then really the prone guy, he's also really good.
Yeah.
He did this long downwinder. I think you saw it in doing this massive downwinder from Busselton to,
Phew.
and he was on a prone with the other guy on a prone, and there's some stand-up paddlers coming past. It was like, yeah.
That's crazy. That's like Hood River busy.
Yeah, it was really cool. Yes, it was not much wind. It was like, it was like 40, 50 knots, but it was really cool to see everybody out there playing around.
Frothers.
It was really cool.
Frothers.
Yeah.
Look, if you ever come to Melbourne as well, shoot me a message, and we'll hang out. We'll show you the spots and get some sessions in.
Awesome.
All right, man. Thank you for your time. Cool. Keep parawinging, and we'll keep pushing it, man. Cool. Good to talk to you.
Yeah. Same. Have a good one. See ya. Bye.